Before we dive into the main topic, please take a moment to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this podcast, and leave a comment to support the channel. Your engagement truly helps. Okay, so let's unpack this. Today on the deep dive, we're looking at something that, well, everybody loves,
Yeah.
but it can actually be a little bit terrifying if you're doing it in the second language. We're talking about eating out.
Mm.
Now, you might think, I know how to eat, I know how to pay, but looking at the source material we have today, which is for, English learners at the A1 to A2 level, it's so clear that dining out is not just about hunger.
No, it's not. It really is a
It's
performance.
a performance.
It is. You have a role, the waiter has a role, and there's a very specific script you both have to follow. And if you don't know your lines, or if you misread the setting,
Yeah,
that's where the anxiety comes in.
exactly.
It's a universal feeling, isn't it? That specific kind of panic when you sit down, look at a menu that's not in your language, and realize, oh, I have to talk to someone to get food.
Yes. You're hungry, you want that steak, but do you know how to ask for it without sounding, rude?
Right.
So our mission today is to completely dismantle that anxiety. We're going to look at the source material, which breaks this down into 3 perfect little chunks.
Okay.
We're going to look at the landscape, knowing the difference between a cafe and a restaurant, then the menu, decoding what's on there, and finally, the interaction, the actual words you need.
And if I can just add, what we're looking at today is really the foundation. This is A1 to A2 level stuff. This isn't about discussing, the socioeconomic impact of fusion cuisine.
Right.
This is about survival. It's about moving from just being hungry to being a confident communicator who can walk into a place and get what they want. It's about understanding the algorithm of the whole experience.
I love that. The algorithm of diet. And honestly, looking at this menu we have in the source material, I'm getting a little hungry already.
Me too.
We've got steaks, we've got desserts. It looks good.
It does look like a solid menu, but before we can order, we have to decide where we're actually going to eat.
The source gives us 5 very specific categories.
Okay.
And I think it's worth unpacking the definitions for each one because they give you these subtle clues about what to expect.
Right. So option number 1 is the cafe. Now, to me, a cafe is just, where I get my coffee. But how does the source define it specifically?
The source is very clear. Its main purpose is a place where you can have a cup of tea or coffee and a snack.
And it gives examples of snacks, right? It says a sandwich or a cake.
Yep.
Which is pretty much the perfect light meal.
Precisely. But here's the little nuance that I found interesting. It says they sometimes serve meals too, like lunch or dinner.
Sometimes.
Sometimes is the key word. It's a hedge. It means you don't walk into a cafe assuming you can get a full 3-course meal. The main thing is coffee and a snack. Anything else is a bonus.
Okay. So if I want that a guarantee, if I definitely want a full meal, I'm looking for the second category, the restaurant. Correct. The definition is totally different here. For a restaurant, the source says you go there for a meal. It's purposeful.
It sounds more serious.
It is. And there's a very practical note attached to that definition, too, about your wallet.
Oh, yes. It says very clearly, more expensive than a cafe. I feel like that's such a helpful warning for a learner.
It sets expectations.
Yeah, check your budget before you sit down.
Absolutely. So cafe for a light snack, restaurant for a proper meal. Then we have category 3, which is a big part of the culture in a lot of English-speaking places, the bar or pub.
Right. And you hear pub, you immediately think beer.
That's the first thought. And the definition starts there. It says they serve alcohol. That's the main thing. But, and this is a great little vocabulary point, it also says they serve soft drinks.
Soft drinks. Okay, so what does that mean here? Because sometimes it just means like a soda.
Well, the source defines it in brackets as non-alcoholic drinks. But look at the example it gives. Fruit juice.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think that's a vital clue for a learner. If you're in a pub and you don't drink alcohol, you can ask for soft drink and get an orange juice or an apple juice. You're not just stuck with water or Coke.
That's really helpful.
Yeah.
And can I eat there?
You can. The text notes that you can usually have a meal or a snack there too, so it's a kind of hybrid space. Less formal than a restaurant, but more substantial than a cafe.
Okay. Category 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need speed. You need the fast food restaurant.
Speed and temperature. That's what the definition focuses on. It says you can get a quick hot meal there.
Quick hot meal. I like that. And the example is the absolute classic, isn't it?
The classic burger and chips. It's the universal symbol for that kind of dining experience.
And finally, number 5, the takeaway.
Right.
This is for when you want the restaurant food, but, you want to be on your couch.
Exactly. The definition is all about the logistics. You buy a snack or meal there, but the key action is that you take it home to eat.
I love that breakdown. So, okay, for this deep dive, let's say we've chosen the restaurant. We're sitting down. We're ready for the full experience. We open the menu.
And this brings us to section B of our source. We're moving from where to what. And this menu follows a very, very standard 3-stage structure.
Starters, main courses, and desserts.
The holy trinity of dining. So let's look at the starters first. What are our options?
Looks like we have 2 choices here, soup of the day and mixed salad.
Classic. But did you see that little symbol next to both of them, the little V?
I did see that. And at the bottom, there's the key. It tells us V stands for vegetarian.
It's a small detail, but for a learner, knowing to look for that legend at the bottom of a menu is a survival skill. You just scan for the V instead of reading every single ingredient.
That's a great tip. Okay, so we've had our soup or salad. Now we move to the main courses. This is where things get heavier.
Oh, yeah.
These are the heavy hitters. I'm seeing steak, fish and chips, and a burger.
It's very hearty food, but what strikes me is the dominance of one particular side dish.
Oh, let me see. Steak with chips. Fish and chips. Burger with chips.
It's everywhere.
It's chips all the way down. The potato is king on this menu.
It really is. It tells you a lot about the kind of cuisine. Though look closely at the steak option again. There's a choice there.
Ah, you're right. It says steak with chips or new potatoes. So you do have an out if you're not feeling fried. That little or gives the diner some power.
It does. And for the burger, what else does that come with?
It says the burger comes with chips and mushrooms. That's specific, not cheese, but mushrooms.
See, these details matter when you order, and we shouldn't forget the other options. There's salmon fillet with green beans, which is a bit lighter, and one main for our vegetarian friends.
Right, the vegetable curry. And it has the little V next to it again, so a pretty solid spread.
It covers the main bases. Red meat, fish, vegetarian. So you've had your main course?
Yeah.
And then comes the best part.
Dessert.
The sweet finish. What have we got?
3 choices. Chocolate ice cream, apple pie, or fruit salad.
Simple, classic. Can't go wrong there.
I think I'm going for the apple pie. But, okay, so we know where we are, we know what we want. Now comes the part that makes people nervous, the actual conversation.
The dialogue dance, as I like to call it.
Section C.
Yes. And section C gives us a little script. A waiter and a customer. And the words here are so important. This isn't just about information, it's about politeness.
Okay, let's break down the lines. It starts with the waiter who says, "Are you ready to order?"
That's the trigger. And our customer is ready. Listen to how they answer. Yes, I'd like the steak, please.
Stop right there. I'd like. Why not? I want the steak is correct grammar.
Grammatically, yes, but socially, it's a bit harsh. I want can sound demanding, almost like a child. I'd like, which is short for I would like, softens the request. It's how we show politeness in English.
Okay, so I'd like is the magic phrase. The customer orders the steak, but we know there are decisions to be made.
Right. So the algorithm continues. The waiter asks the follow-up question. Would you like it with chips or new potatoes?
And the customer says, with chips, please. The please is everywhere.
It is. Now, here's the next step in the script, and it's very specific to steak.
The temperature question.
Exactly. The waiter asks, how would you like your steak rare, medium, or well done?
I love that the source actually lists these. It's a special vocabulary set you only use in this one situation.
It is. It's domain-specific vocabulary. If you don't know these three words, there's just an awkward pause. So what does our customer choose?
They play it safe. Well done, please.
So the food order is in, but we're not done.
Drinks. And what would you like to drink?
And the response?
I'll have a Coke, please.
Notice the switch from I'd like, both are perfect for ordering, I'll have often feels like a decision made right at that moment.
Okay, so time passes, the meal arrives, and then the waiter comes back. Usually right when your mouth is full.
The quality check, the waiter asks, is everything all right?
It's such a simple question, but it has a really specific job, doesn't it?
It does. It's what linguists call phatic communication. It's a social check-in. They're not looking for a full review, just making sure there isn't a problem.
And our customer gives a very positive, polite response. Thank you. It's delicious.
And the source even helps us out by defining delicious in brackets as very good.
Which is a fantastic word to know. It's better than just good.
It is. It shows a higher level of vocabulary and appreciation. It makes the waiter feel good.
So the meal is done. Plates are empty. Now we have to get out of there. The exit strategy.
The final step. The customer says, could I have the bill, please?
Could I have?
Yes. Another polite modal verb. Could I have is a standard, perfect way to ask. And the waiter replies, yes, of course. Transaction complete.
It seems so simple when you lay it out like that. Step 1, step 2, step 3.
It is simple. And that's the whole point. You don't need complicated grammar to have a successful meal. You need these building blocks. You need to know the difference between a cafe and a restaurant. You need to know that V means vegetarian. And you need those key phrases. I'd like, I'll have, and could I have the bill?
And please. Never forget, please.
Never forget, please.
So for our listener who's maybe just starting out or just gets nervous when the waiter comes over, what's the big takeaway?
The takeaway is that this is a structured activity. It's a script. The waiter will ask if you're ready. They will ask about side dishes. If you know the script, you can relax and actually enjoy the food.
I love that. It's not a test, it's a script.
Well,
and you just have to learn your lines.
Precisely. And remember the little details we found. Knowing chips are the default, or that soft drinks can mean juice in a pub. These things help you navigate the world.
It really does. You know, the thing that sticks with me from that whole dialogue is the question, is everything all right?
Oh, yeah. Why that one?
Because even though it's just, a service question, that phatic thing you mentioned, it's the moment the interaction becomes human.
I see what you mean.
You're not just an order number anymore. You're a person having a meal. And being able to answer that, to say, it's delicious, that completes the circle.
That's a wonderful observation. It turns a transaction into a relationship, even if it's just for a minute. And that's what language is all about, connecting with people. Even if it's just over a plate of burger and mushrooms.
Burger and mushrooms.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced about that combo, but if the menu says so.
It must be good.
Well, we have covered the landscape of dining, we've decoded the menu, and we've mastered the manners. I think our listeners are ready to go out there and order that steak.
I think they are.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like, and leave a comment to support the channel.